Hey,
Have anybody seen Zay? Because I didn't see him in pre-show.
listen, listen. Let's stop. Let's stop. Let's address the elephant. Zay does not take employment serious. Okay, I want him to hear this when I go to edit. Zay does not work ethic. It's just not. It's like he's like the Kramer. You ever seen Seinfeld? He like Kramer. His whole life is a fantasy. He might show up tonight. He might not. He might say he taking a nap.
Whenever you're out there at TV Land, Zay, we look forward to you. And you're 2 minutes late. Showtime is at 9 p.m.
Don't worry about it, Zay. I know all your parts.
That's it. Pause.
That's fucking ridiculous. Man. I'm not doing it. Hey, welcome to another episode of Black Super Friends. Oh boy, listen, if we had a time clock, for this show, boy, I swear to God, y'all are interesting. Hey, it was an amazing weekend in America, Black America, right? It's three of us. We at 75%. When the other 25 puts down his thermos and his luggage and all of what he do, we will be ready to rock and roll. Hey, first off, let me go to the man at the bottom square. The main man out of he's out of Florida. I don't know if his team won this weekend, but he looked like he's in a good mood. Tonight you know him as simply the Chris Leo.
Yes, actually, 49ers did win this weekend, beat the Cardinals. We're 4-0. I got my prediction. I think I'm halfway right, but thank you guys for showing up tonight. Where's Zay? Is the motto of the show.
Well, I'm pretty sure he backstage. Listen, I told you, this is just like he doing us a favor when he show up. All right, next I'm going to my main man, the last Cowboy standing. He had a decent weekend. We won't talk about his team, but I sure gonna give hell to somebody else about their team tonight. Tonight, let's talk to Super Mario Sr.
Greetings and salutations, man. I had a great weekend, man. A great weekend, but you're gonna hear all about it on the show.
All right. Well, like with any other great job in America, you always got that one employee who just I don't know what to say.
My boy.
What's happening? Wouldn't be the show without me. What's happening, fellas?
He may not come when you call, but he's always late.
It's like being on the job, and then they got the boss got that one son who just technically there, but yeah, it ain't really. All right, the man who doesn't take this serious sometimes, showing his pearly whites. He's wearing some of the latest fashion apparel. LL Cool Zay.
What's happening? What's happening?
All right, listen. Let me keep it short and sweet. Colorado had an amazing game this weekend. If the first half, they could have did what they needed to do in the first half, which is one of their weaknesses, we might have had an upset that I didn't even see coming. Watch the Canelo fight against Charlo Saturday night. Wish I can get my money back. Well, I didn't spend any money, but listen, what a scam that was. And the thing that actually gives me joy is to see that the Miami Dolphins lost and all order was returned to the universe.
You know, Hardy, you said people who don't even have a team just hate to hate. They don't even understand why they hating. They just be hating. I mean, you got to always understand something, Horace. Buffalo Bills have always gave Miami Dolphins hell. It was a good game. It's not the end of the season. Tom Brady's still retired, and you still suck.
Well, I'll tell you what. Maybe I never.
Dolphins, baby.
So you're probably like 40 in your 40s. since you've been born, you've never seen the Miami Dolphins have any kind of dominance or success. And I'm a person that likes organization, execution, professionalism, and perfection. So that's why I can honestly say I was a Tom Brady fan and I'm a New England Patriots. That really solidifies how I feel about life. Now you go into the Dolphins and the fuckery and the half-ass pageantry that they commit on the field, it only makes sense. But hey,
You still have no team.
what y'all thought about this weekend? I'm gonna go to Chris. You the sports man.
Where you want me to start? First of all, I want to say that I thought the Thanos reel was a little bit over the top, dog. You shouldn't have did that to Zay. That was a bit much. But
Oh, great.
where do you want me to start? The Colorado Deion Sanders. Shout out to them. I feel the same way Shador Sanders feels. I don't believe in moral victories, but I do believe in quality losses, and I think this was a quality loss. There's a lot of good takeaways from this team. Yes, I mean from these last two games. Yes, the defense gave up 90 points. That's a bad thing. But if you look closer into the stats of this game, in the fourth quarter they held their opponents to 0 points, and they're outscoring their opponents 20-0 in the fourth quarter. Now, what that tells me is in the first game, they got punched in the mouth, didn't know what to do, but they didn't give up. They ended up scoring 6 points in the fourth quarter. That's the only time they scored. This time, just like with most men, they don't learn how to fight back until they put in a situation where they got punked, and now they know that they have to fight back. That's what I think happened in this second game, where I think they got punched in the face. They went into halftime and said, we're not going to give up, and we're going to keep on fighting. That way you've seen them outscore the USC by 13 points in the second half. So I think it's really promising. And then also, if you look deeper into the stats, Caleb Williams is possibly the number one pick in the draft. I don't think that no one can deny that. He's the top quarterback in college football right now. His stats was 415 total yards and 6 touchdowns. Now, Shador Sanders, in the same game, 421 total yards, 5 touchdowns, and 1 rushing touchdown. So for Shador to bounce back and have a game like that on this level against that quarterback who's supposed to be the number one pick overall, that was a big, I can't say a moral victory, but a quality loss for the Colorado Buffaloes. Charlo, you fell asleep. You're no longer. We're gonna take. We don't even. That was a waste of goddamn time. What you did. I never knew that Colin Kaepernick was your cousin or something. You had not taken a knee, so I don't even got no commentary for that. And Florida State won.
Yeah, Chris. You know what's interesting about the Colorado game? That in a couple of areas, I think it's passing and maybe rushing. Colorado on stats had better numbers than USC. I thought that first half, they just have a habit of first half just not being with it. But me personally, I seen 2 plays where if I was Coach Deion, I'm gonna pull people in the office. When the punter took 5 steps to punt, I thought that was suspect. And then that bomb play, I think that made it 21. I seen his Caucasian safety or whatever. He didn't really look like he made an effort. So, Vegas being involved in some of these games, that was the first time I even had that thought. You know what I mean?
Well, they was 21-point dogs. So
yeah,
if that's the case, they've rigged Vegas by that comeback at the end.
Well, I think Deion won't accept it, but so far this year has already been a success. But I know the way they getting people, celebrities on the sideline, they paint this like the new Fab Five, which is good for the culture. You know what I mean? Zay?
What up? Oh man, I like what I seen Colorado do. Again, that is a top-ranked team, as Chris told you guys. We didn't go into this expecting a win, but that was a doggone good game. Florida State always never fails me. My Dolphins are still top of their division, regardless. We just took an L. Can't win them all. It was a great weekend, nonetheless, in the sports industry. That Charlo fight, he went to sleep, and so did I. I'm surprised my brother didn't put that footage up. But
I definitely want to put that footage up.
It was a wrap. But, man, I was trying my best to watch that fight, but it was hard.
I definitely
I was
weighed
going back.
myself whether I wanted to put that footage out, boy. It was like I said Bert and Ernie. Mario
Hey,
said
listen,
MJG.
I laughed hard when I saw it. That was him. That just a testament to age, I guess. Boy, we was done.
Man, they were
Cooked.
gone. Super
Were y'all able
Mario.
to be player plaid?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay. Shout out to the boy Norman. Well, I can't wait to see the
for
new player
hosting.
plaid.
Yeah, he hosted the fight party with the sleepover or whatever you want to call it.
Okay.
Yeah. Super Mario Senior, you had a triumphant weekend.
Yeah, Florida State didn't play, so we got a bye,
My
and
bad.
and we stayed 5. I don't like that, but I ain't want to rant on and on about sports, but I really don't like that. I felt like some of those 1, 2, 3, and 4 games are too close, and when we played a close game to a divisional rival who have been dominant for the last 10 years in the ACC, we fell one spot. But I digress. The Dallas Cowboys came back and like they played. If you're a Cowboys fan, you always know that we're gonna lose badly to some team at least once a year that we should never lose to. And in the last 3 years, 2 of them times have been to the Cardinals. For some reason, it's just going up there to Arizona. We just act like we're gonna blow them out, and they beat us. But then we came back and gave Bill Belichick the whooping of his life. And I talked to a very astute Patriots fan, one who I've been knowing all my life, who's been a Patriots fan. And every Patriots game, he bet me. He called me. We don't talk much, and he bet like something like a bottle or some shoes or something, not money. And I asked him, was it time for Bill to leave? That's another question for another day. But his sentiments to this, he's a Patriots fan all his life, and he had some good points on what he felt about that. Charlo, bruh, you got to hang it up, and you just missed the biggest payday of your life because if you had won this fight, you would have been able to fight Charlo and what's my boy? Terrence Crawford would have been the biggest fight besides Spence, and you just missed that payday because now Crawford has no reason to fight you the way you look. It's actually trash. You let us all down, and you look pathetic. Like, I don't mind you losing because he came out with that Martin Luther King speech at the end, but you look pathetic, bro. And the guy who fought before you was the biggest robbery in boxing I ever seen in my life. This nigga got whooped the entire fight and won, bro. But damn, dog. I was talking to him. I said, dog, this is the worst whooping I ever seen. Nigga won. I won? Yeah. I'm like, oh my God, this is the. Well, I would have been so mad. And as for that's an action-packed weekend, dog. I think that everybody pretty had good. The Dolphins, they'll get back on track. I heard what Tua said, and that happens to most teams when he say people start getting the big head who never been there before. You know what I'm saying? Tua coming from Alabama, he understands what it means to be a continuous winner, and then walking to that people in the locker room who never won just get overzealous. You know what I'm saying? Coaches got to tighten up. Deion, that's what I'm going to say this, I'm going to let it go. Deion played a good deceptive game. That game was good, but I'm telling you, it's because it was good because of all the reasons what he keeps saying and people overlooking. Deion don't have a good team. Like, I don't think people are like, those boys are overplaying themselves. Mm-hmm. Like, they are really overplaying. Like, bro, like that line, we all knew USC could get burnt, right? They that's what they do. They get burnt, right? But I'm saying the way they running game, USC actually lineman was opening holes for their running back. They actually was giving Shedeur time. But it's a growing team. Towards the end of the year, you're gonna see some of these young boys because Miller a true freshman. So like you see what I'm saying? Like Deion said in the after, and I love how raw he be when he say that pause. When he say, bro, I didn't know he was gonna do this. He don't practice like this. He had been watching film like this. He finally stepped up and believed in what we believed in when we brought him here. See, I like that because that's the truth. Not standing up there saying, well, we knew he always had it in him. No, he brought us. No, you didn't. Yes, you would have been starting. This is your first game starting because of injuries, and you showed out. So I'm so excited about Colorado just because of that. Because Deion is getting this talent. And when he get that talent, boy, oh boy, you talking about electrifying. It's going to be amazing.
Yeah, I think it's good for college football all the way around, man. Like I think we are glued to the TV every Saturday, and that's a big thing. And I, besides Florida State, I wasn't watching too much college football for the last couple of years, and now it's an event again. So I think it's great for college football.
Well, to your point, Chris, I think the key word is believe, because like Mario said, he don't have these amazing athletes, right? But CJ McClain was the #1 quarterback last year. I mean, cornerback, right? That boy got put in the game, shut down that side of the field, right? So Hunter was out, Shiloh was out, but then you got the Miller kid that came out and went off, T.O. coaching them up. So even the whole cast of, you got people on the sideline, but you got Warren Sapp, T.O., Ocho, all these people coming back just to pour into them kids. And I think them kids believing, you know what I mean? Because that second half, boy, I was running through my office and stuff. And like Chris said, like I hadn't watched college football in a while. So, man, it's interesting to see that, man. So I'm rooting for them, even though I know they have a high ceiling for what they're trying to do. I think this year's already become a success, just bringing what he's brought to football. Like Deion's a ticket, like him or not, he's a ticket. Let him go to a bowl. They can go to a bowl with a losing record, and that bowl gonna be sold out. So that's a testament to what he's trying to do. Well,
to be bowl eligible, you got to win more than 50% of your game. So he would have to win more than 50%. They just can't throw him in the bowl. We got to be bowl eligible.
Well,
that's a step in the right direction too.
Let's be honest. They 3-1, right?
2.
Yeah.
3-2. We ain't expecting to be. Listen, when people looked at the schedule beginning, we already thought this would be a building year, whatever. For him, those first 3 games, yeah, man, that's a surprise. So I think they can even out.
2-2. They won the first 2. They lost the second 2.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. They beat TCU the first game. They beat Oregon State the second game. They lost to Oregon. No.
They beat who?
They beat TCU the first game.
Right.
They beat Oregon State the second game, I think.
And then Colorado State.
They beat Colorado State.
3-2, bro.
Colorado State.
Colorado State.
Game. Oregon lost. USC lost.
Right, 3-2.
2-2.
Okay, whatever. Hey, listen, in dummy news, let's talk about this before we get into the meat and potatoes. This is a sore spot for a lot of people from our area because Tupac was kind of like the drum major for our area. He, just like Deion made us watch football, Tupac is a legendary figure in music, Black culture, and almost like in Elvis fashion, people have been fascinated with his death. And there's always been so many rumors about how he died, who pulled the trigger, who hired the killer, was he dead, was he alive? And it's just been a thing for so long. And people on the West Coast, even with my family, have said different things, right? They've had documentaries, movies, specials about it. And then I want to ask you, like, is it something about old gangsters? Like the gangsters we know take stuff to the grave. But in this Vlad TV era, it just seems like people have this thing where they just want to confess so many sins and crimes and stuff. So a member of, I guess, gang culture, Keefe D, who was, in the car that allegedly killed Tupac, and also was hired by Puff Daddy to do security and whatnot, has been, what's the word I want to use, arraigned, and he's been indicted in regards to the murder of Tupac. They did a raid after he got out of prison after an extensive stint, found a gun and some stuff in there linked to the crime, and now he is facing murder charges because he's the only person that is still living from that alleged car that was involved in the incident. Orlando Williams is dead. Big Dre is dead. And like other people, they went on Vlad TV and talked about a murder like it was over. Okay. And he's in jail now. So the donkey of the day, I don't know what I want to say. Super Mario, what's your thoughts?
He been saying this for years. I think I want to hear more about this case because it's miraculous that they even what that they got to this far. I seen the Vlad interview when he said, as he said, most of the time the police try to subpoena his videos, but he got lawyers on payroll to make sure that that never happens. So he has never given a video for evidence to any law enforcement, and he stand by that. And if anybody can say they can prove that he didn't, I think it seems like Keeper D been asking for this. You know how they say, like, you keep on asking, you keep on asking for it, you keep on asking for it. And people, I don't believe this, but sometimes people say, you hunted by the wrongs you do in life, and then sometimes it's too much for you to bear. So you trying to pay redemption. That's one way to look at it. The second way to look at it, let y'all talk on it is, he thought the statute, like, for some reason that he was out of harm's way. Mm-hmm. He felt like what you just said. Everybody else was dead. They never solved it. They never locked anybody up. And everything that they know now, they knew the year after Tupac. Everything they know now, they knew the year after Tupac died. So it's no new evidence except for him. Just keep saying it, and the judge finally saying, "All right, let's indict him with the jury." That's the only difference in this. So when you look at all that, you got to say, man, what changed? They just probably told him, like, shut this fat old bastard up, and then and because I'm tired of him going on every platform that'll pay him and tell how dumb we look as a police department that we haven't arrested one person for the killing of one of the biggest rappers of all time. So maybe that has something to do with it. But what y'all think? I'm just all over the place with Keefe D.
Well, let me ask you something. Could this really be more about they trying to connect this murder to Puff Daddy? But really, they don't give a damn about who got killed. But murder-wise, money-wise, a trial involving Puff Daddy as a name, it sparks up media coverage and people make money off of all of this stuff. Could that be a thing? Because Orlando was always rumored to be the shooter, but it really never made sense because they're both in the back seat. Big Dre is closer to the window. So the alleged thing was Big Dre actually was the killer because they're saying if Orlando was the shooter, he would have had to reach over to shoot out the window. And it does kind of make sense. Like if Dre is there, but to each his own. Chris Leo.
Fellas, I've never in my life wanted to kill anyone, and I hope that I never have to kill anybody. But if I do, I would like the prosecutors and the detectives, those same detectives to investigate my case. Because if I could go on TV saying I did it, if I could go on interviews saying I did it, if I could write a book saying I did it, if they could put out a whole documentary movie that you can find right now on TV about me doing this shit or having something involvement in this shit, and I still don't go to jail and take me this long, then I please give me those detectives. Dog, there's DVD series about this. Keefe D Ben said this, but I think that he's going to get off because just like what Horace said, whoever was in the back seat, Orlando was in the back seat. All three parties are dead. All three other, the only person that's alive is him. So how are you going to convict him on something where he said somebody in the backseat did it, and those two people can't defend themselves, and the victim isn't here? So I don't see a way that the prosecution can convict him because he didn't do it, and he's convinced, and he's said several times that he didn't do it. He's telling you how it went down. So I really don't understand this, but my problem is they could have ended this case a long time ago. This case didn't have you didn't have to bring Keefe D in there. You could have closed this case a long time ago, saying that you knew what happened, but you can't do nothing. You can't do anything about it, or whatever the case may be. But just for them to rehash this and reopen this, I don't know how people feel. I don't know how I would feel if I was a part of Tupac's family when it's been said for years, just like what Demario said, a year after this happened, who did it, the whole hood knew, and y'all finally bringing this man to justice. That's like bringing the Emmett Till lady into justice now. Like, you know what I'm saying? I don't know, but I'm kind of torn on this one too. So,
well, listen, Pop Mama dead, his daddy dead, his sister living. So on that other side, the crazy part is if Keefe D get convicted as an accessory, which they might can do, they put him in prison. You know how many people are willing to die for Tupac? You know how many people that got Tupac tattoos as grown men? Like people love Tupac. So, I don't know if they're trying to sensationalize, media always looking for stories. Or it could start another war, as far as gang related, because Suge had his people, and then Diddy them was hiring Crips. Suge is blood. So it's crazy, man. But I'm like you, Chris. This could have been ended a long time ago, but they always looking for something to stretch out.
Yeah, it's crazy because I think his mom's even on record. After a while, she didn't care because she said that the police didn't never care about who actually murdered her son. So, for like Mario said, I think that they are just tired of him. Like he's shooting off his mouth. It reminds me of the Mega Ever stories. I think it was Byron D. LeBeck with. He just kept on talking about it, like gloating, and after a while, you got someone who got to be overzealous, and they get to finally just end that case. And I think that's probably what's going to happen in this instance. I'm going to agree with you, Horace. I think if for nothing else, if they do convict him, it's going to be accomplished because he's put himself on the scene. And if I'm not mistaken, they retrieved a weapon from his house. And you know that possession is 9/10 of the law. So I don't think he's going to go unscathed. It just doesn't make any sense. And I think it is very, very, very stupid of him to, just kept on poking at the bear, for lack of better words. But you get what you reap what you sow. And he's going to reap whatever it is that he's supposed to sow.
But my thing is this, Zay. I understand where you're coming from, but none of those interviews was under oath. So none of that is all that he can say that was sensationalized. In a court of law, someone have to prove that he gave the command to shoot Tupac, that he threw the gun back there. According to his story, this is his story. He said he did the command. He threw the gun in the backseat. No one there to corroborate that or to deny it. So that's why I say that I don't know how can he get proven this, because none of what he said was under oath. He didn't. This wasn't in a deposition or anything like that. So those interviews may not be admissible in court.
It may not, but that's something that we're going to come to learn. So I just know that you would never ever go and go do something. Well, I would hope that you would never go and do something and run around and beat on your chest at the highest levels to say that I did this. Because again, that's an admission of guilt. Whether it's under oath or not, you're saying it. So now you can say it or whatever the case may be. But if they get that and a couple of other key things to tie you through it, your skin is not the color that's going to win. I just wouldn't do it. I don't see the smart.
Well, listen, how many times you didn't just left and something happens, somebody get as a shootout, or you take a step to the left and a bullet go by. The most spookiest thing about this case was those guys came to town that night to chill out. They didn't come allegedly to kill Pop. The interesting part was after all that stuff jumped out, they was in the same road going in different directions. The only reason they seen Pop because he was hanging out the sunroof of the Benz talking to some girls that was on the side of him. So in video you seen him hanging out the sunroof doing the most, and that's how they spotted him. And they turned around, and that's when allegedly everything went down. So, I forgot the quote that they had for that, but like if he would have, who knows what would have ever happened? If he wasn't hanging out that sunroof, getting all this attention in Vegas. You never know who's looking. Yeah. I don't think he would have lived too long after that anyway, but Pop was on a collision course. He was a Gemini. He was a Gemini, and he was full of a lot of anger, I would say.
Pop, that wasn't your chain. He wasn't a Crip. Might have should have sat that one out, Pop.
Listen, Pop wasn't even a real gangster. The Outlaws was. The people around him was. But, hey, we all know a couple people like that. Monroe Heights had a character like that. It started all the mess and got them beat up. But I won't go into that story. Hey, man, it's right up your alley because it's going to be great. Today, you know what? Just let me go to the video. First, I want to give video credit to Club Shay Shay, Shannon Shaw, who conducted an interview with Brittany Rayner.
He said conducted.
Brittany Rayner, who Mario urged me to watch. I thought that, she's courageous and a little transparent. And I thought the interview, I have to finish it, but the interview was interesting to say the least, man. Here's a
I
video
want to
clip.
35 guys. Okay.
Whew. Oh Lord.
Impressive isn't
Woo.
the word. So if I'm judged for
Anybody else
having,
need a shot of this?
if I'm judged for having great taste,
We are in the bar, so help yourself. We got this for the next hour.
Hey, Shannon is so candid with his interviews, man. I want to say this before we go into, so the topic is 35 bodies too much? I mean, 35 sexual partners, which we call bodies, is that too much? I don't know in relation to what, but I will say, I'll be the bad guy, that Brittany, I thought she was a porn star, so my mistake. But she is a public figure, and she has been known to be, what I say, Instagram hoe? No, she's notable. She dates high rollers. But anyway, the point was she confessed that on the show that she's had 35 partners. On another interview, she said that half of those 35 were what you call them?
One night stand.
One night stands. So in relation to, I guess, marriage, relationships, dating, 35 bodies. What's the significance of it? Is that a lot? And how important is it to you, Chris? Because be honest, a lot of people see Derek is saying she a hoe. And to be honest,
They're old school too, though.
to be honest, if people had numbers on their back, you would quite be surprised. Chris Leo.
Okay, is 35 a lot? I think a lot is subjective to each person. So your lot may not be my lot. It's very subjective. So what I like to do when I'm confused about things, I like to simplify it, and I just do have a equation on what I think to work for you, and it'll cross the board. I take the years a woman is alive, multiplied by 1, and that's the amount of bodies that they should have. I'll give you an example. Let's say she started at 15, right? Now, I don't think she should have 15 bodies at 15, but those 14 bodies give you a gap. So, give you a little bit of cushion. So by the time you're 30, those 14 body cushion should cover your whole phase. It should cover your college days. It should cover your breakups. So by the time you get to 30, you at 30 people, you're averaging one body a year. Your numbers don't look that bad. You can always, if you at one body a year, your numbers really don't look that bad. Now, me personally, that's an equation that you can use if that matters to you. I'm not a person that have ever asked a woman how many bodies she has. Well, I'm lying. When I was in high school, maybe I did. But as far as a grown adult dating, that question has never came up. I understand that this is a popular question right now, and I don't fault anybody for asking the question if it's important to you. But at the same time, when you say a lot, if a woman average has a one body a year average, I don't think that's a lot. And if it's anything under than that, just pretty good in my equation.
I would say, honestly, numbers. Listen, ignorance is bliss. Now, I just got into that the other day with somebody, and I want to publicly say, Cheryl Sutherland, you owe me an apology. She attacked me viciously for my opinion. You know how people put up a post and then be like, ask you what your thoughts are, and then attack you on the post? Oh, it was a blatant setup. But anyway, let's be honest here, bro. I know I got female friends who it's a thing. She date while she's dating. Women and men ain't too far different. They just don't operate the same. Men might have sex for validation, but women, ignorance is bliss. I have some female friends that are classy and all of that. And on average, say they have one body every 3 months. That's 4 in a year. So you take that 16 to 18 when people just start fucking, how many bodies they got from that? Because it's two groups of women. You got the one that meet a guy, she's out hunching, and she with the guy. Now he might go off and cheat or have some bodies, but she with that guy for a long period of time. And then it's the other chick that's dating, trying to find that dude, and in her midst of her trying to find a dude, she giving out some kudos because that's what people do. So for 16 to 18 in their 20s, especially if they went to college, don't let them fool you. Yeah, I don't think 35 is a lot realistically. It sounds horrible. It sounds horrible, but honestly, I think it's more than 35. Even when she said 35, I'm like, it's cap. But the reality is, I don't want to know. I really don't care because, hell, I don't care because ignorance is bliss. Super Mario.
Well, I definitely agree that numbers are relative, and I definitely believe that numbers are relative to what's going on in the world, right? So to put stuff in perspective, what Chris said is true, but it's just like being broke or anything else, or when you put money into the equation, that's the same thing too. to somebody who not a millionaire having $30,000, they'll be like, "Oh, you broke." To Puff Daddy, if he get the $30,000, he's broke. To Jay-Z, if he get the $30,000, he's broke. To a dude who grew up in the hood with us, you get the $30,000, you up, and they can't tell you nothing and better not look at you no kind of way. So I like to liken to Brittany to that is the way that she looks in the life she's lived. 35 is not a lot. To the average woman who's in a small city, who's looking at her saying it's not a lot, it's a lot for you, sister. And don't you go, and if you have that number, don't tell nobody. See, she is bad. She has the pool of men that's gonna talk to her that is gonna overlook those 35 because of how she looked and because of her popularity. She knows she can say she had sex with 35 men and it will not stop her from getting a man. Listen, ladies, don't fall for the trick bag. If you from a little small city or a big city, you don't go to $1 billion clubs and get flued out and all that. How y'all said, if you go to work, you work a 9 to 5, you drive an Altima, a Lexus, or a Benz, and you go around telling guys you got 35, you're done. You're done. You're done, and you're done. Beauty, no matter how much, I'm gonna let Zay go. No matter what people want to say, no matter how much they try to go over it, they say this. If you're fine, you get away with a bunch of bullshit. And she's the main perp for this. She knows she's bad. She knows she has sex appeal. If you listen to that interview, that's why I'm telling you to listen to that interview. She knows how to captivate men. She's nice, she's sweet, she's humble, she's submissive. She knows she's all of that, and she's super fine because she's been told this all her life. So she knows that number 35 or spewing that out is nothing. She knows it's a lot to the average person, but as she said it through that whole interview, I'm not average. And the dude I'm going to talk to is not going to be average. So he would know those are not average numbers for people like us. And that's real. So I think for her or a woman of that caliber, no. For us and the people who watching us in TV land, you better not try that. What do they say? Don't try that shit at home.
Turn your mic on. You are a professional.
Well,
And Kendall is home.
Yeah. God, I got to fix this shit. Listen, one thing I'm going to say. One, we live in an era where whole culture is celebrated, right? And you got a lot of the older women that's still trying to get a man, so they trying to compete, so they still trying to adapt to the culture. And then you got another shit from the last 10 years where I'm Cardi B type stuff, where I'm with a dude, I'm living a nice lifestyle, I'm going dude to dude, and I'm using my box to do it. So I just say be realistic. You listen, me and Zay was at a party one time back in the day. He remember that. When our homeboy was dating this girl who we know she got around, and he asked her, and he bragged, like, let's go down names of bodies. And she ran out some names. My bro was never the same. Remember that thing? Never the same. Bro, she ran out some names. And I say, bro, why play them games with yourself? Because he was broken. He got embarrassed that night, too.
See, I don't
How
never
they get
ask
standards?
because it's important to me. I think the numbers matter and it's important to me. It's just not a number that I want to know that I'm going to ask for. Long as I think what matters the most is not how many, because how many matters, but who. If it ain't my homeboys, it ain't nobody that I, no family members, maybe not nobody, like maybe don't hit my boss or nothing like that. We pretty much cool. But other than that, I'm never gonna
Chris,
ask.
Well,
I'm gonna
Chris,
have to
let's be
side
honest.
with you.
Wait, Zay. There's a
Yeah,
lot of eaters from back in the day that's happily married right now. So
right.
somebody that care about their numbers. So
That
hey,
because they
Zay.
want pain freaks. I was gonna say I'm not a pain freak or a glutton for pain. I never want to know about nothing before me. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna try my best not to. If it's something that we have to have a conversation about, cool. You know what I'm saying? So that we're on a even plateau. But I'm not just gonna willingly go in there interrogating looking for that. Um, I like what Hardy was saying. A lot of women watch this internet and they think that just because someone else is doing something that they can do it. Don't do that. You feel me? It's not going to end well for you at all. Guys are very shallow. Looking at four of them right now, we're telling you openly 35 bodies is not going to be a good look for you. You might get hit. You're not getting wife. You need to know that. With that young lady, like you said, she is beautiful. You have some guys in the arena that she's going to be in that are going to overlook that because they're going to feel like the guys that she dealt with before them are beneath them, probably because of their economical status. But it is really, I would really like to hear that from another standpoint because I know this younger ages, they're a little different than us. They don't care about that. They seem to be in love with the hoes and stuff like that. That's what turns on their fancy. It's almost like catching that trophy fish for them.
Mm.
So they like that woman that's out there that everybody getting because they want to go at her. You know what I mean? And then to some lengths that I see some of them go to just show that she with me now and feel like nobody else can do what they're doing. I don't think so when the numbers get like that. But I could be wrong because what Horace said is very true. A lot of the old school hoes that we know are very happily married. Maybe they got it out early and then they know what it takes to, keep a man. They never disclose their number. But that is a very, very true scenario where a lot of them are wifed up and carted off. But I don't think those guys went around and asked, what's that magic number in order to stay there. So it's a slippery slope. If you get on it, you might come out on top, but then you might not. Try it
Yeah.
at your own risk.
But listen, from a male player perspective, right? Y'all then went. Now y'all, not y'all, but a dude can go somewhere, right? Talk to a chick. Don't like married chicks. Don't be, whatever. Whether they're in a relationship or married, a woman can go out of town, and that's a new thing too, where women brag about going out of town with their rounds, and they getting dug out, and then they come back. It's just too many scenarios that people are knowing. So yeah, 35 is not a lot, especially for somebody who's 35, who's been to college or heavily dated. It's just too many scenarios.
I meant
So
to say I like that buffer that Chris gave them because it's what you said from 0 to 14.
Yeah,
They give you a cushion of 14 bodies. You always give them a head
yeah,
start.
you get a cushion.
But if you
That should
surpass
run
that,
you.
man,
That should run you past your whole phase. That should run you past your breakup phase. That should run you past your goddamn college days. And you probably have some relationships in there where you shouldn't be screwing nobody else. So if you got a 14 body gap and you can still at 35 make it one body a year, that ain't that bad. You had a 14 body gap. You start at 15. You know what I'm saying? So that's
nice buffer.
the math I use.
most people, Chris, whether we say we ain't gonna go 35 above 10, most people, male and female, have had a whole phase where they just out chill and they done collected some bodies. So when people talk about they only been with 2, 3 people, that's not even the best of them has had a run where they didn't collected some bodies, whether they just hanging out with their wang at college,
See, I
you
think
know, huh?
the unpopular truth is men lie more about numbers than women do.
Oh
I
yeah.
think women lie to put their numbers down, and dudes lie to put it up.
Lie to inflate them.
Because I never. That's why I say numbers are so strange and so subjective. Because I heard people talk like they was Big Willie, and then when they say they number, I laughed in their face.
Yeah.
Because I'm saying, but it's perspective. Because in his head, they thought really like they was the man, and this, and I'm hearing them talking. I'm like, but you didn't even talk like somebody who's seasoned. You have not even got like in karate stage. You still like at the belt right over white, and you're talking like you're some sensei. Like I can, as a sensei myself, you can hit the words. You know, he's not even doing punches and throwing. He's not doing anything right or correct. So I know another sensei when I see one, and he's not looking familiar. But when I hit at least I thought he was close. I'm like, bro, what you talking about? A good week or two? And that's what I'm saying. That's why I say, dog, everything is not equal to certain people. Like that's why I had to look at Brittany, and I listened to that thing. She was like, she went here, her parents are strict, and she moved here, and she moved here, and she went here and moved here. Bro, moving around, I have you thugging with your rounds.
True.
Like because you don't have nobody looking and nobody you could almost get butt wild and keep moving and moving and moving and moving. Oh man!
Not to mention you fresh meat and you're fine.
Right.
Everywhere you go, animals gonna be at you.
And see, that's the thing, because that's natural. So we were just talking about that before. Like she got her fame from being a workout person, Instagram workout person online, and then dudes start trying to holler at her because of who she was, and then a couple of high profile dudes got her, and here we go from now. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, when you look like that, a lot of people gonna forgive your transgressions.
Listen, I know a girl from high school that got 35 bodies alone, and guess what? Seeing in the mall, holding hands with a sucker
and kissing.
Who from Virginia. He didn't feel like he didn't came to town. And she's a beautiful girl, but he married her, came from Virginia, came here, met her, and he don't know he got the goddamn city bicycle. But ignorance is bliss.
And she's not gonna marry again. No, I'll stay out of that.
I ain't gonna tell him at all. Let that man be happy.
Yeah.
But most of them people don't get married. See, that's the thing about women. See, you looking at the man point of view. Women are always gonna look at like that's too many. Bro, why you think all the women getting married? For one, they want to be. That's probably how they got them 35 or 40 or 50 anyway, because they was looking for love. So they actually want to be with somebody. They don't want to rule them. They don't want to tell them what to do. They don't want to cut them off from their life. They actually want to be a helpmate to somebody. They want to fulfill their mate. They want to be with their mate. So here we go.
This is a lie.
Well, you think that's not one man trans?
That's not a lie. That is the truth.
That's the truth, Chris.
That is the truth. Yeah, for sure.
We already had this show.
When you get on
Chris.
That's like a nigga getting in a rental car. He don't know that the last rental was some kids who goddamn went 150 from Fort Lauderdale to Miami and doing donuts.
I guarantee you he know it ain't his car when he have to turn it back. He'll never confuse that to be his car. Trash is trash, no matter what it is. A rental car is a rental car, and you realize that when you have to return that motherfucker.
Chris, you take a green bean and meet a girl who goddamn doing all the things that he's seen on TV. Wise Joker know what she learned all of this from all this experience. A green bean thinking he didn't met somebody and she doing all this stuff. So I agree. One man's trash is another man's treasure. Ignorance is bliss. I'm gonna stick with that one.
That comment is talking about value. So
yeah, and he might know she's trash.
She's valuable.
He says no value.
Fred G. Sanford made a kingdom out of trash. Trash is very, very valuable. It doesn't make it not trash.
But when Rick Ross throw away his slightly used shoes that he never worn, that's $500. That's not trash. Just because it's him, that's not trash. But when he throw them away and say, I'm throwing away all my shoes because he's treating it like trash because he don't care because he's buying 10 shoes, that's trash. That's his trash. But to somebody like, that's treasure. I know I was giving away shoes that's not trash, but I had to get them out my closet. So just because I gave them away or felt like I didn't need them, that don't mean that they should be in the trash.
Shit.
Somebody took them and made them a treasure.
Some people love trash. That's what it is.
Chris being Oscar the Grouch right now. listen, we about to go down the wrong road, so I got to get to the meat and potatoes. One thing I want to shout out, Ebony K Williams. About a month ago, she outraged people. I don't even know what she said that was so awful, but I tell you what, women were sharing her videos. It went viral, and it was all good. And then today, everybody got in front of the TV, and they were like, "Okay, Ebony about to serve them," and she hit them with a reverse Uno card. And Ebony said, "Listen, all you successful women, time out. Y'all need to be, when you're going through school and all that, you need to consider." But I just let y'all hear from her because they were pissed.
The reality that needs to be said out loud is that as black men age, their desirability increases. Thus, their optionality of women is always expanding. And the exact opposite is true for black women. As we age, doesn't matter how much money we accumulate, our degrees or professional accolades, the reality is that our marriage and partnership market value is depreciating with every passing year. No matter how good we look, no matter how fit we are, men are still seeing primarily our presumed dwindling fertility as a knock against us. And speaking of fertility, that is another reason that I want younger black women to seek marriage and partnership in college or right after, if that's what they choose. Because the number of college-educated black men is so low when compared to black college-educated women that we're all going to be targeting the same small pool of men.
Well, to sum it up, she said, even though I'm successful, all our sisters that got our doctorate degrees, doing well, successful, but single, let me give advice to others. While you pursuing the dream, when you're going through college, trying to get that cap and gown, have a marriage and family on that list as well. Don't wait to get down to the end of the road and think, I'm going to try to make a good pitch at it. She's saying that should be important to y'all too. And guess who was mad? Everybody. Oh, they were pissed with her. But it's funny how, the truth is, man, sometimes we like it, sometimes we won't, but that's my opinion. I do. We've said this a long time. Men don't give a damn about your degrees. He don't care about all that in the sense of when he's picking a partner. Because oftentimes people identify, hey, they trying to get to know you. All they're going to tell you about all the degrees they got, how much money they make. I'm this, I'm that. And most men is trying to get to the core of who you are and how it relates to me and you in our day-to-day. How can we merge? What we got together? So, yeah, interesting. LL Cool J, I'm going to go to you first. You the latest, man.
I am. You take a page out of Charlemagne's book. I really felt like we should sit this one out, but we can be a fly on the wall and learn and listen. I think what she gave those women was some great commentary. I did hear the outrage, and what the outrage was different. I think the outrage came from the women, in which was the tone in which how she came off. They thought that it was aggressive, which is amazing because we've said a lot of things and we get that same tone. However, what she was saying was true, and she was speaking from a myopic view. She's a very successful judge, right? Pretty woman. And she saw that all of those things, through all her success and beauty, still didn't get her what she wanted. And she's married too. She was married before as well. Still didn't get the child. I think she gave them some good background information on if they go the route that she goes, what could possibly happen, how men kind of talk to us. And I guess that hard conversation was hard for them to stomach because it didn't get given to them the way that, a soft on a platter. It was real. And if you're going to be in that, if you're going to be that person, that my bank account, my accomplishments and things like that, you're going to have that bag to back it up. She talked to them about freezing eggs. That was a thing that was beyond my scope. I didn't think that was a thing because the way women pop out kids around my area, I didn't think they had to do that. But she was talking to them about that being a very real scenario for them, and they need to really consider what's going on. She did talk about the counterparts and how when they're coming through with their degrees or whatever, they're flashing their engagement rings as well, and they have thoughts of being in a family. She talked about how our sisters don't think about graduating with all of those accolades to be a house mom or to care for the kids or because that's something that they have on their chest that they got, are proud about, and they want to put that into effect. But how that's not conducive to making a family. So I think she gave some good insight. For me, sitting back listening to that conversation, I learned a lot, and I kept my mouth shut. But for the women that it didn't agree with, she did say her disclaimer was she was speaking to a certain type of woman. And I think that if that conversation aggravated you, you probably should have exited the room because it wasn't for you. But that's what I got from the information. Nothing wrong with that. I love a woman that can see the wrong in her way and come back to the table and try to correct it. So that was that.
Well, let me add some context. Do not forget that Ebony K Williams was the same woman who was married to a white man who left her. Second,
Mm-hmm.
Ebony K Williams is the woman right now who chose to get in, what's that?
That
Inseminated.
fertilization thing.
Yeah, with a white donor. So the baby's gonna be, and she don't even know who the daddy is. She just know he white. So
she's just ready for motherhood, so she don't care. You know what I'm saying? And like you said, those women that sign up for that, I think that as a woman that said what she wants, she's living that truth. So everything that comes along with it, she's willing to take it. And I'm not mad at her because she's not pointing the finger at us. She's pointing it at herself. So have at it. Whatever
Mario.
makes you happy.
Well, I say don't listen to Ebony. 'Cause what y'all gonna do is help my young brothers out. See, what's gonna happen is this. Just think if Ebony had to listen to herself right now. It'll be some black man right here stuck with Ebony, mad as hell every day. He wake up pissed off because she was shitting on Ebony. Because one thing I've learned in this show, and I've learned all around, is no recourse for anything a woman want to do. She could be right today, wrong tomorrow. It's never their fault. So I say I'm glad that kind of happens. Because what happens is they're saying what she's telling you is they have no leverage once they get out of college. All the leverage is gone. And you know I'm a man of leverage. So what happens is you're right. She explained it to the T. As we get older and as we get more profound, as we grow in ourselves and become who we're supposed to be, then we have all the leverage. And what she's trying to do is even it back out, saying, ladies, before you lose your leverage, lock in. And I'm saying, fellas, hold tight. Because it's never fun when the rabbit got the gun. And I don't want y'all young bucks to lose it. I want y'all to be sitting from the catbird seat, as Uncle Shannon say, and picking what you want. Because it's nothing like a man being able to actually choose his wife. Didn't have to actually just get whatever say yes to whoever he has to have because he doesn't have the ability to get exactly what he wants. So men, take your time. Go through college, live your life, get to that position in life you want, then you choose. And then most of the time, when you choose like that, you're going to choose right because you have no ulterior motives except for this is what you want. That's what I think.
And to piggyback on that, Hart, one of the things she was talking about, like you said, that leverage, because she was talking about the degrees, why you have the degree and why you're going through school. Women do outpace men with degrees, but men are still the earners. They still have that money on their side. So what you're saying is true. Get your money up, make a choice. Don't let a woman leverage you into making a choice because it ain't gonna never ever end well. And I think that's what she's trying to do, give them back something on that side.
that is something. Serena Daddy still out here pumping Jordan juice, but hey,
He definitely doing that.
listen, that wood is good until that tree falls. Chris Leo.
I'd piggyback off something hard to say. I think that every man in the world would get married if he could pick his wife. That's just what I believe. I like to say kudos to Ebony K. Samuels. My bad. Ebony K. Williams. I'm sorry. I got it mixed up. But she preaches to the choir. This is something that we already know. Everybody knows this. And it's sad that the people that need to hear it won't get to hear it because the people that don't want to hear it is speaking so loudly. It goes back to what I've been saying. It doesn't make a difference who said it or how you said it. Zay said something about the weight, the tone, and all this other bullshit. That lady said that calmly, fine, articulately. She didn't raise her voice. You just didn't want to hear it because you don't want to listen. That's the problem. You don't want to listen. You can't be rude because you don't want to be rude. You don't want to submit. And that's fine. I say it like this: if you could do bad all by yourself, goddamn it, do bad then. If you don't want to go 50-50, pay 100% of the bills. That's fine with me. And if you don't need a man, I think that God, this is what I believe by God. God gives you what you need and not what you want. Your ass got to work for what you want. So if you one of them women that say, I don't need a man, I just want one, God gives you what you need. Your ass gonna have to work for what you want. But here's another tip, since we're on that subject. Get on your knees. Pray. Close your head and pray for a man. Pray for it. And that's how God is sending one to you. Just what I want you to pray. I'm talking about tears coming out your mouth. Pray. But again, I think she's speaking to the choir. I hope. But I've been off the care of women single boat. I did the math. The more single women it is, the more free box it is. Most single women is averaging 3 to 4 bodies a year.
Great.
So for single men, we feast off that. So I don't care I'm not on that trip no more. Who cares if they don't want to be in a relationship?
Mm-hmm.
A wise poet once said, "More for me, Devin the dude." I like it.
Wow. Okay. Well, it's definitely a season for the hunter. And believe it or not, my guys, we got through a whole show, and it wasn't 2 hours.
What?
Look at God.
Yeah. Interesting, man. And I expected that one to be like ridiculous, but I didn't see none of the angry kitty cat club, like Chris said. We didn't have Alou in the comments. We didn't have Amber in the comments. So it was kind of mild tonight.
It was out there being single and getting knocked off. They can't make it. It's Monday Night Footballs at their house.
And you know what the worst part? You said it, and somehow I'll be the one that get the hate mail, man.
Every time.
I
like how that goes. Me and Chris say stuff, and Horace gets the backlash. I love it.
Yeah. One day I'm gonna lose it. I'm gonna say, "Are you kidding me?" Let me tell you about Xavier. But listen, last night I had a woman coming up to me at the inlet, and it wasn't angry. She told me, she was like, the one skit where I talked about, waiting on God. Like, she was like, that's real. She used to be one of those people. She was like, I used to be in church all the time, every night, long skirt, all of that. And she say, they kept me in there. She's like, how the hell I'm gonna find a man when they telling me, you got to pray for him, God gonna send him and all this stuff. She said, you know what? I like what you said. I said, well, I got a lot of hate mail from it. So that was encouraging. Because usually, somehow, everybody blind. They be like, oh, I love what they said. I'd be like, are you kidding me? But,
I thought you were talking about the other speech. You said God took her away. That was your best God speech.
Oh, I got in trouble for that one. Listen, that's classic. But you think about it. You got to think about that one.
The worst movie critic in the world.
Ever, man. But that was hilarious. I ain't gonna lie.
That was hilarious, though.
It's all about perspective.
And I ain't see it coming. I'm glued in. I'm locked in, listening to him, and then he bow out.
KO.
Whatever, man. Chris Lee, I'm gonna give you the closing comments.
Oh man. We in pre-show we had a subject about friends, and it got cut from the show tonight, but I wanted to harp on it. I had a friend when I first started rapping. It was a crew. It was about 10, 20 of us, and we would make music, and it was competitive, and we would always try to outdo each other. And for 10 years, I grind until I got to a position where I was able to be signed. But when I got signed, I lost the crew because in 10 years, your crew separates, and y'all do different things. And so it wasn't exciting when I got signed because I didn't have my crew with me, and I almost didn't want to do it no more. But then I met this guy named DJ Pusher, and DJ Pusher put life into me, man. He decided to do my mixtapes. All of my catalog is under his imprint, Audio Trapper on Dat Piff right now. He's hosted all my mixtapes. He was my DJ. this past weekend he was killed in a car accident on a Spider 3-wheeler in Las Vegas, and I just want to give a spotlight on him, man. This is a man that believed in me when I didn't even believe in myself as much. And he, we went on tour together. He passed out CDs and grind from me, man. This is going to be a hard loss. So Lawrence Bennett, rest in peace, my brother. You leave behind 2 wonderful kids. And I just want to thank you for everything that you did for me. I want to thank you for believing in me, pushing me when I didn't want to do it anymore. Always giving me those calls, trying to make me get back in the booth, man. I miss you. You're my DJ, man, and I love you. Sleep in peace. You're gonna be able to be with your mom now, man, and I'm happy for you. That's all I got. Turn your mic on. You are a professional.
I was over here, missed that. Hey, sorry about that, Chris, man. That's definitely tough, and I know how you deal with loss. You know what I mean? I want to give I was at the inlet being funny, and boy, I seen a ghost come in. Like, now I'm gonna shed a tear in the middle of the inlet because this brother was kind of like our baby brother, man, and see him evolve and grow into the man he was. Interesting. So I'm gonna give my shout out to Prentice Williams, man. Too many laughs, too many moments, man, to see that brother back in Revere Beach and free again, man. Oh, the laughs, the stories, man, was just amazing. You know what I mean? My red flag this week is going to be, and I just need some help understanding, people that take on these new roles because it's trendy. But one thing I'm not going for, I'm trying to understand how some people can be a life coach at the age of 20. You ain't experienced nothing in the world. So if you're a life coach and you tell me at 20 years old, I want to see your clients. I want to see them. So I can slap the hell out of myself because at 15, at 20 years old, you ain't been through nothing. You probably still in college. But if somebody like it, I love it. All right. Zay.
My brother, they might be Jesus. Jesus only got 33 years on this thing, and he had a tumultuous life. They might have some of that. And I don't know. I'm just kidding. I'm gonna keep it brief. As y'all said earlier, I got on some of the nicest apparel. I'm drinking from one of the finest goblets there is. Get you one. I appreciate y'all for tuning in. My brother, Waffle with the Topper.
Hey. Well, we will go to closing comments because we got closing comment from Senior Andy.
Hey, man, I seen you on the baseball field, man. We coming to the game, man. I see you on the baseball field doing your thing.
Thank you. Yeah, we got yeah, man. I brought in my special guest, man. My boy turned a big 4 tomorrow, so man, he'll be 4 years old tomorrow, man. So everybody out there, man. If you see me post a picture tomorrow, man, make sure you tell Junior happy birthday, man. He'll be the big 4, man. He playing baseball too early right now. He be knocking out the park too. I'd be happy for him, man. He just got to learn how to run the bases. He go too fast.
Speedy Gonzalez.
Big Quattro.
Yeah, that's every daddy dream, but you can just sit there and get a little smile like you got the next Jose Canseco from Barry.
Man, he hit it and swing it, man. It's T-ball too, so they don't really know the fundamentals. So he think he playing football. He run over everybody to get the ball. He'd be like, "Come on, man, you gonna have me fighting out here, man. You gotta calm down, man."
I saw it was 3 people, and I tried to dead it, and one people tried to try.
Yeah, because you made him cry.
You made him cry.
Yeah, don't tell yourself, Keepy D.
Hey, happy birthday to baby Theo, man. Listen, I remember being out on that field many days and seeing some daddies not have success that your daddy's having. I was frustrated. Like, this kid sucks.
We see it every week, man. We see it every week. Just disgust. I seen a dude so mad. And his wife, he's like, "You go out there and get him." His wife say, "I don't know what to do. You go get him. You go talk to him." I said, "Oh man."
Kind of like the dude.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh yeah. He like Kendall. He been watching the show.
Yeah.
Bro, listen.
All right.
A lot of daddy dreams get crushed every week. Well, happy birthday. Hey, you up late anyway. Don't be sleeping daycare. No comment. Yeah.
Yeah, we came out of town, man. And then you know how that is. We ain't at home, so everybody ready here. Interrupted my show. I feel your pain, Tootie. Coming in.
Like clockwork, boy.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah. But hey, next week we're gonna ramp up. We got some more topics. We want to start trying to keep it light at night so we can go out and do what we need to do after the show. So thank y'all for joining us. Thank Xavier for joining us. And
y'all welcome. What would Monday night be without me?
Oh, yeah, you know how to put trigger successful. And I held back. I should have got there and pulled the trigger on that one. But hey, it is what it is, man. Thank y'all for watching us and supporting us. We'll see you next week. All right.